My neighbor is using his leaf blower, so you guys probably won't see this footage. I made a test jig that uses water as the weight, and the length of this arm will allow me to calculate how much force is actually on the powder coated joint. So I'm going to fill up the jug, and then once it breaks I will weigh it. If it doesn't break, I will use a longer lever to give me more leverage advantage. Alright, siphoning 101. Oh, this is exciting. Looks like I'm going to need a longer lever. That tells me that if this one isn't breaking at that much pressure, this one is probably going to take a whole heck of a lot more. So I'm going to need, I'm going to need a long arm here. Version 2 of the test jig. I put 40 pounds on the end of this. It withstood it without any signs of failing whatsoever. So now I'm going to use this, which gives me a lot more leverage, and hopefully that does it. Nice snug fit, maybe a little too snug. Oh, there we go. Oh man, that's perfect. It's 2 feet long at the end. All right, here goes test 2, and I have a feeling that this one is going to end with a broken part. That is a lot of pressure. This was meant to be a joke, but powder coating is no joke. That stuff is strong. I don't know if I'm going to be able to break the other one. I hope my jig holds. Powder coating is no joke. That is a strong joint. In a way, I hope it doesn't fail, but in a way, like if it doesn't, what am I going to do? That's it, folks. That's all there is to it. Well, I just tried to do a test to see how strong my powder coating joint was, and things escalated. I now have a 2-foot pipe on here with 40 pounds of water on the end of it. And it's not breaking. And this is the weaker, I assume, of the 2 pieces. This one is going to be far stronger. Of course, I wasn't recording. I started texting people to let them know what I was doing, and started jacking this thing up, and snappo. Well, that's good. I know that it will fail. It is actually the powder coat material that failed itself and not the bond. So that's pretty cool. over. Will this clamp break? Well, there's your answer. I'm glad I had the camera going. This one only held about half as much. So I had the camera running, but I kind of stepped in front of it. Anyway. So as you can see here, even though there was 70 pounds of weight on the bar, it's only a foot long, so the total load on the joint was only 70 foot-pounds. So that answers our question. The peg that was attached without doing any prep work definitely separated a lot more easily. You can see the material pulled off here, and the other one actually broke the material. This one only broke at the top and the bottom, but the material separated here and here. And if you look at the back side of the powder coat, the first layers that I put on were white, and you can see it actually pulled the dirt off of the aluminum plate. That looks pretty cool. In order to figure out how strong this powder coating is, I've had to come up with a way to hold the parts. And so basically this is what I'm going to do. I've got that piece there. And then I'm either going to use this if I have long enough screws. Yes, I will use this. And then also as a backup, I will put this clamp on here. And then in order to put a load on it and break it, we are going to use this 2-foot long pipe and put it all the way in. We know the length of the pipe, and so if we know how much weight we're putting on the end of the pipe, we can calculate the amount of force that's going to be on the joint. These jugs are going to sit in this platform. The platform is going to hang from the pipe, which will be on our part. And then we will use a separate hose to siphon water from a container down into the jugs until the part fails. When the part fails, we will take the jugs, the strap, this bar, and weigh everything on a scale and see how much weight it took to break the joint. Then we can measure the length of the pipe between the joint and where our strap is and calculate how much force it actually took to break the powder coat. So here is 1 foot. And here is 2 feet. That works out well. I assume that I'm going to have to install a separate rope for stability. Let's see, we'll put this here. Oh! Why was the first one so strong? I don't get it. There we have the answer to that. It didn't take very much weight at all. We learned a couple of things from this experiment. The bond to the surface is quite good. It's the powder coat that's failing. You can see it stayed stuck to both pieces, but it's the material that actually broke. We're going to have to do this test again. I'm not sure how much of the footage I'm going to show from before, but I've already tested this several times. The first time I did my testing, I tested with the red powder coat, and it took a lot of force to break it. So then I tried doing it with green powder coat, and I assumed that it was going to be stronger just because I did a better job, but they all failed way before the red powder coat did. So now I'm assuming that maybe the red powder coat is actually stronger than the other stuff. So I've got a test jig set up. I'm going to just put the test jig on it and see if it holds the weight. And then I'm going to add a small amount and basically try to work my way up. So far I've completely failed at capturing the thing breaking while I'm adding weight to it. So I'm going to do this and hope to get it. We are holding 30 pounds at 1 foot. You don't have to be a mathematician to figure out that that is 30 foot-pounds of torque being applied to the joint. Okay, let's see if it holds this extra 40 pounds, which would be 70, I guess. Hey, buddy. I'm going to take everything off, put it on the scale, and see how much weight we've put on it so far. Yeah. All right, that is about 56 pounds, 57 pounds. I'm going to start adding water by siphon now and hope for a failure, although I suspect we will have to do this test again. All right. Zipper. A little bit. Okay, thanks a lot. Here, because outside. Well, I sure heard. I must. I see about. We have a result. Well, that's good news. I was just getting ready to go get more water. 30. Well, it took forever for me to capture it on camera, but now we have an actual result. The first time I tested it, it was actually quite a bit stronger than this. I didn't catch it on camera, but the result is 62 foot-pounds of torque to break this off. So what can we conclude from testing this stuff? Well, you'd have to be extremely foolhardy and reckless to actually trust this stuff. We weren't able to get anything that's even close to a consistent result. There are a few times when we had the powder coat break with 30 pounds on it, with about 30 foot-pounds, and there are other times when it took 140. As silly as this test is, it does tell us one thing, that a clean, properly prepared surface makes a huge difference in bond. As shown on the green peg, even though there were several layers of material applied, because the plate wasn't prepped properly, it broke free quite easily. When we compare that to the test that we just did, we can see that it stuck to the peg, it stuck to our block of material, and it was the powder coating that actually failed. So as silly as this video is, prep your powder coat jobs properly and you will get an amazing bond. Be sure to stay tuned for some upcoming powder coating videos. I have some quirky ideas that are in the works and they're sure to be fun. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.